What's up everybody, it's Drew Wilkins with Swine Bovine Barbecue, and in this video we're making seafood gumbo at the beach. Every good gumbo requires a good stock. We're making a shrimp stock for this seafood gumbo. So we gotta peel and devein some head-on shrimp. Let me show you how to do that. So these are head-on royal red shrimp. We want to get the vein out when we dehead them, so we're just gonna pinch both sides, pull apart. You see that vein? I'm gonna pull slowly and make sure that comes out with it. And we'll get rid of it because we don't want it to be part of the stock. Throw it in the sink, put our head in the basket, peel our shrimp, and this will be used for stock. This will be added at the end for our gumbo. And I don't always get that vein out every time. Don't be discouraged if you don't. You'll just have to do a little knife work to get it out. But if you can get it out all in once, it does make a difference. Take less time. So we've got our shrimp heads, shells, and then also some shells from some cooked shrimp that we did yesterday. Now, to make our stock, we're gonna go in with just a quartered up onion, some celery, some carrots. These are baby carrots. You can use whole carrots if you'd like. And then 3 cloves of crushed garlic. And we're gonna drop in 3 bay leaves, a little dried thyme, and some whole black peppercorns. So now we're gonna cover this with water, let it simmer for a good 45 minutes, hour and a half. However long it takes until we've got the flavor that we want on it. So our stock is almost up to a simmer, and you'll get this foam that comes up, and you'll just want to scoop it off. Scoop it off, put it into a bowl. We don't want that in there, so we'll get it off, let it be some nice clear liquid, and let it simmer. So a little over an hour of simmering, and our stock has reduced nicely. It's got a fantastic color. So we're gonna strain it. If you got a fine mesh strainer, use that. It'll get all the thyme and some of the other small particles we put in here out, but we don't have that where we're staying, so we're just going to do it like this and it'll be just fine. Lift this out and we have ourselves some beautiful shrimp stock. Now that our stock's done, it's time to start the roux, and the most important ingredient in a roux is a cold beer, because you're going to be standing somewhere for a long time stirring this puppy up. And to start it off, we're going to go in with 1 cup, a hefty cup, of vegetable oil. Now, equal amount flour, so a cup of flour. So now we're just gonna sit here and stir. It could be a 1 beer roux, a 2 beer roux, 3 beer roux. I don't know what it's gonna be. We're gonna go a little lighter than we do on our chicken and sausage gumbo, which I'll link here. You can go watch it after this video. But it takes a while. We're gonna stir. As you can look at and see right now, it is a very light color. We want it to be not as dark again as we would a chicken and sausage gumbo, but significantly darker than this. So we'll come back when it's probably about a milk chocolate brown. We'll give you a time update. It's 1:35 right now. We'll see how long it takes to get the roux where we want it. So this is about 10 minutes in and we're at a nice caramel color. We'll see how much longer it takes to get to that milk chocolate, but we're making progress. So our roux is done. This is exactly where I want this to be for a seafood gumbo. So now we're gonna add in the trinity with some onions, celery, and bell pepper. Now we're gonna get this all mixed up, smothered and covered in our roux, and let it cook for probably about 10 minutes. About 5 minutes in though, we're gonna add garlic. But we don't want it to burn, so we're not gonna add it quite yet. Trinity has been in for about 5 minutes, so we're gonna add our garlic. Then just keep stirring. Vegetables have cooked down for 10 minutes. Now we're gonna go in with everything but the seafood. Starting off with some Worcestershire and hot sauce, using Tabasco this time. We've got a blend of thyme, oregano, basil, rub sage, and some bay leaves. We're gonna go in with our homemade shrimp stock. 8 cups, starting there. We'll see if we need more later. And I kept that on the burner. That way it was nice and hot when we put it in. Give this a slight mix. Then seafood gumbo, so we're adding some okra. So there was also some pepper in with those spices. And lastly, we're gonna add some salt. We did not salt our stock. We do not want salt in our stock. That way we can control the salinity, because we reduced that stock down a decent amount. So now we're gonna stir this and let it go for like 2.5 hours. It's a seafood gumbo, so we're not putting any of the meat in advance, because 1, it's either cooked, or 2, it's gonna cook very, very quickly. So we want this to barely be a simmer. We don't wanna reduce it a whole lot. We've got a significant amount of leftover shrimp stock that we can use if it reduces too much, because we got a lot of mouths to feed and we don't want it to be just a paste of gumbo. We want it to still have a soupy aspect to it. So we're gonna let this go along, let the flavors come together, meld nicely, and then when it's time, we'll have the seafood. For now, just gonna bubble away. Barely bubble though. So we let the gumbo simmer for a little over 2 hours, shut it down, went out to the beach, drank some beers, had some cigars, brought it back up to temp. We got the rice going right there. Now it's time to add the seafood. Only needs to go for 15 minutes. We're gonna start off with a quart of oysters, liquor included. Then we're gonna add a pound of lump crab meat. Then we're gonna go in with these royal red shrimp. Gonna get this mixed in. And now we're about to go in with the secret ingredient. So the secret ingredient is crawfish. If you watched the family crawfish boil from earlier this year, these are tails from it. So we're gonna go in with 1 pack. And then my main man George is gonna dump in the other pack. So now we're gonna get this back on the burner. Fire it up, let it cook for 15 minutes. That'll get that seafood all nice, fully cooked through. And then we'll be ready to eat. Gumbo is a great meal for a crowd, and we have a crowd.
Wow, guys, this is pretty quiet.
I'm gonna have to put music over that, but start off with some rice. And then we've got our gumbo. But just take it and spoon it over that rice, and you get yourself a great bowl of gumbo. You have a fantastic bite of some crawfish, crab, rice, some fantastic stock. Really excited about this. Cheers. A little biased, but that's an incredible gumbo. It's not too rich. We didn't go super dark with the roux like we normally do on a chicken and sausage gumbo. It is perfectly dark. It has all the flavors that you want from a gumbo, from the onion to the celery to the bell pepper. We hit the Holy Trinity really, really well. Then that crawfish adds a ton to it, and I'm a crawfish guy, so obviously I love it. But then you throw in those royal red shrimp, the crab meat. It is absolutely fantastic. If you're on the fence about making gumbo, give it a shot. You don't want to make your own shrimp stock, use chicken stock. But go buy some shrimp and make the shrimp stock, because I think it does make a little bit of a difference. Or if you're down on the Gulf or wherever, your local seafood market probably has some shrimp stock you can use. But this is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna go hang out with my family, eat this, cook stuff when you're with your family. It's worth it, it's fun, and it's gonna be a lot better than what you would make or find going out to dinner. So cheers, let's eat.
George approved.